Hello, hello, hello. Carolyn J. Carpenter here. We are going to dive in today. I love doing these live trainings. So we are live, we're jumping in. We are going to talk today about a really, really, really cool topic. One of my favorite things to talk about. And that is it only other people that get to work in the film industry? that is the nature of our topic today, is talking about who works in the film industry. And so many people will say, oh, no, that's not for you. So how do you know if working in the film industry, and specifically as a reader, because that's what we're always talking about here at Hollywood Gatekeepers, is being a reader. And so I wanted to talk about it. It was interesting. We got a lot of comments, a lot of people interested in learning, like, is working in the film industry only for other people? Is that just for other people and not for you? No, I think it's for anyone who wants to do it. So we're going to talk about that today. One of my favorite topics. I just love inspiring people to work in an area that they love, right? Hey, Manuel, it's nice to see you, or Manuel, not sure how you say it. So really good to see you here. And yeah, hello. Lovely, 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 lovely having you guys here. Lovely doing live events. I love these trainings that we do, where we do it either in our Facebook group or on our YouTube channel or sometimes on Instagram. I just like to pop around and do free trainings to give you as much content as possible. So I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter. I am one of the founders of Hollywood Gatekeepers, where we train people how to become expert readers for the film industry. And if you don't know what a reader is, that is basically someone who reads and analyzes screenplays for a living. That's what we do. That's our deal here, is we train people how to do that, how to break down a screenplay and analyze it from a reader's perspective. So if you write screenplays, it's always really good to know, like, what does a reader do, and how do you get your script past a reader? Because readers read screenplays to help producers primarily, so that they can pick what project they want to do next. So thousands and thousands of submissions will come into a producer or producers, and they just simply don't have the time to read everything, right? So that's where the reader comes in. The reader will read those screenplays, and then they write kind of like a book report known as coverage. They give that coverage to the producer. Then the producer doesn't have to initially read the screenplay. They can read the coverage and then make the choice that they want to make, whether they want to read the screenplay, meet with the writer, meet with the agent, whatever it might be. So that reader is often known as a gatekeeper. We're one of the ones that help decide what project moves forward. Now, readers also help writers get their screenplay ready. And if you are a writer and you are thinking about submitting your work somewhere to be seen or produced, I highly suggest that you get a reader, someone professional, to take a look at your screenplay. And so it doesn't necessarily, I believe, have to be someone that has produced a million movies. It's someone who really has taken the time to learn how to break down a screenplay, how to create a screenplay, how to create a story, how to help you get that story in shape. And that's what we train people how to do. I liken it to like a vocal coach. So like a vocal coach will coach a pop star, right? But a vocal coach is not a pop star. A vocal coach doesn't necessarily have a bunch of Grammys, but a vocal coach can really get into what is happening with the singer's voice. There's a lot of things that go into being a pop star, writing and performance and all kinds of things. But the voice is one particular part of that. There are a lot of things that go into making a movie, but breaking down that screenplay and making sure that it's ready is the job of a reader. So that's what we teach here. Super happy to see you guys here. Hi, hello from Chicago. Love it. DC. We got lots of places. Good. I'm glad you're looking forward to Florida. Love it, love it, love it. Seeing all these lovely Atlanta. Now everybody's like, here's where I am. LA. I love it. So I wanted to talk about the idea that, is working in the industry only for the select few? Is it only for people that are of a certain, I don't know what? And I believe no. I think working in the film industry is for anyone who decides they want to work in the film industry. It's just about figuring out, how do you go about doing that? But some of the things that we see and hear quite a bit when I'm doing these trainings are people that say what I think are myths. And so I love to bust these myths, and I love to talk about some of the things that we see on our Facebook posts and we see people say to each other. And one of the main concepts that I think holds people back, and that I talk about all the time, and even as a child, I kind of had an understanding of this, and that is the idea that, oh, no, that's for other people. Only other people can work in the film industry, not you. No, no. And sometimes that kind of thing comes out of love. There's someone you love is trying to protect you from, taking a chance that's going to be not turn out well. And Jim Carrey famously talks about his father getting a job, I think as an accountant or something, because he really wanted to be a musician, but he wanted to raise his family. And then he was an out of work accountant. So it was like, it doesn't necessarily mean if you don't choose that route, that the route you do choose is going to be successful. So in my book, choose the thing you're passionate about. You're far more likely to be successful at something you're passionate about, right? Because you're passionate to do it. So a lot of people will say, no, 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 they have people that do that. The whole concept of they have someone that does that. And so they already have people. No, no, no. They have people that work there. No, there's other people that do that. It's not you, it's for other people. And even as a child, I would be like, why? Why? What? Like it didn't make sense. I want to be other people. Other people are doing all the cool things. How do you get to be the other person? There's got to be a way to be the other person, right? Even as a kid, I sort of had that mindset, and I'm super glad that my parents kind of supported that mindset of, well, I don't know, try it kind of thing. And so I want to just bust that right now that it's not for other people. That when someone says that to you, they're saying it's not for me. They're saying I'm too scared, so don't you do it. So this makes me very nervous. So you better stop it. So it's like they're trying to stop you from making them feel whatever, insignificant or scared or whatever it might be. And so that's a really common thing that people do. They also will say, oh no, it's for other people because they all know someone and you have to know someone in order to do this. The only way, and you see it all the time, the only way to get in here is if you know someone. The only way to get in there is like everyone knows there's the one way. But we have a lot of people that come into our programs. We have Oscar winners, we have Oscar nominees, we have people that have made movies, we have actors, we have all kinds of people come into our programs and talk about their experience in the film industry. And one of the main questions they always get is, how did you get your start? How did you get going? What happened? And they all have a different story, vastly different stories. So all of their stories are different. So if they're the only way to break into something, doesn't make any sense at all when all of these people have very different stories. Once they get going, they start to meet people. That's a very common thing. You start meeting people, you get to know people, but it's not like someone high up was like, hey, Paul Haggis, who wrote Crash, you live in Canada and you're like a construction worker. Come on in and write Crash. No, his dad went, you know what, you stink at construction. You need to go write movies, because he knew that's what he loved. And so he did. And so he came here and he figured it out, right? So everybody has a different story about how they get their career off the ground. So what is your story going to be? It's whatever you choose and decide it to be, right? And I really want to bring that home because it is like so true that everybody has a different story. So when someone says to you, no, 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 you have to know someone, they're really saying, no, I don't know anybody and you're making me uncomfortable. So really, like, it's really starting to see that and not hear it in your head all the time. I was just speaking to one of our students here this morning. I'm not sure if he's here. He often comes to our live sessions. And he said, no, 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 you don't belong in this. You belong in a ditch somewhere digging down ditches. Like, what? It's like, okay, cool. Like, and that has nothing to do with, anyone. It's just like, that doesn't even matter. So it is just about deciding, what it is that you want to do. And it can be, you can have a lot of naysayers, and a lot of times it's family. It's people that love you and they're scared for you. And so they're trying to protect you. It's coming from a place of love. But if you can really like stick to your center and be like, no, this is really something I want to do. And then there are other, I think, challenges that are quite real that make it, these are myths and just things that people think. But then there are also other challenges. For instance, there's not a lot of public education around filmmaking as children. So when we're kids, we don't get a lot of that. We're getting more now. It's changing because it's becoming easier for people to make home movies and that kind of thing. But there wasn't, and there still is not a ton of it. It's getting a little bit better where kids can make their own movies because, the iPhone has really helped with that, where kids are starting to make their own films and that kind of thing because of the accessibility to those kinds of things. So that ability to move into the film industry either meant as a kid that because there wasn't a lot of access to it, it either meant you had a huge passion for it just because you went to a movie and you were just drawn into it, which is a lot of us, right? It chooses you. You didn't choose it. You went and saw a movie and it just chose you, and that was it. You were done. That was it. That's what your path was. It's either that, or there's a lot of privilege involved where you've been able to have access to things that not everyone has access to. That is a very real challenge. And so what we want to do here at Hollywood Gatekeepers is try and even out that challenge and give as much free content like this away to people so that you can learn about it, so we can kind of balance those scales, right? And that it's like, there's many communities that didn't have it, which is why we need more diverse stories. And there's many people who didn't see themselves in movies or making movies. So when you don't see a representation of yourself doing things, that makes it seem like, oh, maybe that's not for me. That's a very real block and challenge. And so again, we want to get those diverse stories up onto the screen. We want to get more diverse filmmakers into making movies so that little children now can look up and see themselves in the people that are doing this. And so we're really passionate about that as well, getting more diverse stories, more diverse people, more things onto the screen, more free content so that people can see that it's all doable. It's all available, and we need to find ways to make it more available. And so when someone is coming at you with reasons why it won't work, that's their imposter syndrome, typically speaking. A lot of us know what imposter syndrome is. It's kind of a buzz phrase, a catchphrase, but it's basically feeling like I don't belong here. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm whatever. And I have to say that I don't know anybody that hasn't suffered from imposter syndrome. I know people that have won Oscars that have then, after they win their Oscar, be like, oh my gosh, now I'm never going to be able to stay relevant, right? No one's going to be, I have to how am I going to raise the bar now? And they think that, oh no, I'm not going to be able to live up to it. Like, that's a form of imposter syndrome. Anything that tells us that we're not able in some way because we have some experience that doesn't gel with what we want to do, that is a form of imposter syndrome. And so if this is ringing true to you, I'm going to drink a little water here. If this is ringing true to you, let me know. We have a lot of trainings on our YouTube channel. And so on our YouTube channel, you can watch all kinds of trainings about being a reader, about writing screenplays, because we are trying to break down some of these walls and give you more information about it. Hi, Bill. Nice to see you here. How do I feel about Write What You Know? I think writing what you know is fantastic. It gives you a very good base to start with. You write what you know. You don't have to like think as much out of the box. I would just, when you're writing from what you know, be very authentic with it. Any screenplays that are authentic is one of the main things. Authentic, universal, but a little bit different, right? You need something that's a little bit different about it, but they need to be authentic and have some universal themes in order for people to relate to them. And we have some YouTube videos on our YouTube channel that you can watch about exactly that. So check out our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell, then you'll get notified when we have new trainings like this, or new videos that we often will just put up a video that's a recorded video that we did somewhere else and we decide to share it. There's all kinds of information on there. So that you can learn even more about reading screenplays, analyzing screenplays, the whole 9 yards. So how do you overcome when people are saying these things to you? How do you get your start? And if you want to work in the film industry and you do feel those kind of thoughts come to you, or other people are saying those kind of things to you. And one of the main ways I think to do that is to get educated. You're here right now. You're already doing it right this minute. You get educated. You listen to podcasts. You listen to, more YouTube channels like this. You find mentors is another way. You find a mentor, someone that's doing what you want to do, and you follow them and you listen to them and you listen to their stories and how they got it done. It's so beautiful now because we have so much available to us, right? Like, it used to just take forever to find out anything, and now it's just all like kind of overwhelming. It's all right there, right? So you can just find information, find the people that you want to follow, find the people that inspire you, and just follow them and see, what did they do? And see, are there ways that you can do what they did? Are there ways they can inspire you to take your next step? And then finding a community, which is why we started Hollywood Gatekeepers, one of the reasons. So you would have a community. We have a Facebook group. Many of you found this video because you're in our Facebook group. It has like 12,000 people in there. It's a lot of people in there. You can jump in and you can find like-minded people that love movies, that want to learn about reading, that want to learn about how to make a movie, all of that. So when you find that community, then you no longer feel like it's other people, right? It's these people that are right here with you, and they're all in the same journey with you. And having that community really can make a big difference. And then the next thing is to stay curious. And I talk about curiosity a lot as a reader. So a lot of people will say to me, Oh, as a reader, you must read a lot of bad screenplays. Oh, it must be really terrible. Oh, so many bad screenplays. And I'm like, no, I don't really look at it like that. I've read over 11,000 screenplays. That's a lot of screenplays. Some of them amazing. Some of them need a lot of work. But the thing is if I start feeling like the screenplay is bad, every screenplay is bad. And I had someone once ask, and I love this question, what if I hate everything? And it's like, okay, if you hate everything, that's you. That's not necessarily the screenplays. It's about how you're approaching it. You need to always, 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 I think, in reading and in life, start with curiosity. The more curious you are, the better the screenplay will be, the more fun you will have, because you're not just looking, is the screenplay good or bad? You're looking for what will make the screenplay better, no matter how good it is. You're always looking for what we call the hidden gem. What is the thing that this writer's inspired by? Why did they sit down and finish this screenplay? That is huge. If someone sat their butt in a chair and finished their screenplay, I'm going to read every page because I want to honor that they did that, because there are millions, I'm not joking, millions of people on Facebook that identify as screenwriters. And then there are thousands of people, probably 10 to 20,000 people that submit them to contests. Now, a contest that gets 14,000 submissions might seem like, wow, that's a lot of screenplays, until you put it against the 2 million people that say they want to write screenplays, right? It's a very small percentage of people that actually sit down and write it. So as readers, if we're going to read that screenplay, we want to honor that writer. We want to be a champion for that writer. And we want to do everything in our power to inspire that writer to make that screenplay even better. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes, reading really interesting. And I think the same is true in your life. And I am constantly, also a certified life coach. So I am constantly using the reading, writing experience to look at our lives as well. If you're not curious in your life, if you're not looking for fun and looking for playful things, then you'll find all the not so good things that we're looking for. I really feel that worry is the imagination gone awry. When we sit around worrying, we could be writing. That's our imagination writing stories that aren't helping us. We might as well take that imagination and put it on the page. Write a story that's really interesting and put it on the page, instead of worrying about whatever is happening in your world or where your next paycheck's going to come from or whatever it might be. Take all that worry and use that spectacular imagination that's making you like have palpitations, because it's amazing, our mind, right? We have these images and thoughts and worry, and when it turns into like all these physical things, right? Can we take those and instead put them on the page and make a really good screenplay? Can we do that? And then as readers, can we read that out of curiosity? And that screenplay is going to be really authentic because it's coming from this place, right? So that's writing what you know and taking that worry and putting it on the page and creating a character that overcomes the thing that you're worried about. I don't know, whatever it might be. But staying curious is so very important. And as you do that, you can start seeking opportunities and always being sort of aware when opportunities are coming your way. And the more I think that you stay curious and you sort of relax and allow and just be curious about the world and being playful, the more opportunities land in your lap. And the thing that leads that to happen is by having a growth mindset, by sitting, and thinking about things from a place of how will this allow me to grow? How will my life become more authentic? How can I take this experience and make a really authentic screenplay out of it? What are the opportunities and the ways that I can look at, movies that are out there? Can I follow a movie and then figure out a movie that I really love? Can I then look at who produced that movie and look at all the credits and maybe go on IMDb and then look and see who worked on this film and then see where are they on social media? Can I follow them? Can I get involved? Is there something I can do? Like just staying curious and open and having this mindset of growth, and then allowing it to guide you to opportunity. I think it sounds sort of woo and willy-nilly, but when you have a place of curiosity, when you come from a place of curiosity, you take different actions than when you come from a place of doubt and it's for other people. When you come from a place of doubt and it's for other people, you tend to sit on your couch and be afraid to do anything. When you come from a place of, ooh, what's out there? You're looking and you're taking different actions, right? It's a whole different experience. And that will lead to more things happening in your life. It will lead to more opportunities. It will lead you to getting to know more people. And it could lead you into whatever career that you want in the screen reading industry or screenwriting industry or filmmaking industry, whatever your jam is, right? It can really lead you in there. I heard this quote the other day that I absolutely love. And that is that in school, we get the lesson, right? And then we take a test and we have the test. But in life, we get the test and then we get the lesson. And so being open for all the tests and being like, I don't know what the lesson is here, but I'm just going to take this test, whatever it might be, when we can like kind of relax and live in that space, one, life is more fun, go figure. And two, more opportunities, more people, more things open up to us. And I really think that being a reader is, no matter what you want to do in the film industry, if you want to make your movies, if you're writing screenplays, if you want to be a script supervisor, if you want to work in development, there's so many different jobs. And that's a whole nother training that we'll do. It's so many different jobs in the film industry, but being a reader to me is the foundation to all of them, because the reader is the expert that breaks that screenplay down, that knows how to break a screenplay down, at least the way that we do it. We're really detailed in how do you break a screenplay down, what matters. We go into great detail about the foundation of a screenplay, the story, how it all works, the voice, meaning the dialogue, as well as the voice of the writer, like what messages are they getting across, how is it working in that way. And then we also have how to write a coverage. So all of those things go together in order to become a reader. And by being a reader, once you have that foundation, sky's the limit. You can take that knowledge and you can move into whatever career you want, or you can stay as a reader, because being a reader is very cool. You can read screenplays and then you write coverage, which is, like I said, kind of like a book report. In that coverage, you give details about the screenplay, like, when was it written? How many pages is it? You give a log line, you give a little bit of a summary of what it's about. And then you have typically a grid of some kind where you judge the screenplay, and then you write the story out. You condense the screenplay into a page or two of what is the story about, and then you give a kind of an overview of all the things that work in that screenplay and all the things that didn't work or need work in that screenplay. And so that's a basic coverage. There are many different types of coverage. Again, would be a whole nother training, but there's many different types of coverage where you're focusing on dialogue or you're focusing on just the characters or whatever it might be. And then sometimes there might be notes where you're giving what they call page one notes, where you're like, on page one, this needs to happen, page two, la, la, la. So there's a lot of different types of templates, different types of coverages, different types of ways to do this. But having the understanding of how to break down a screenplay leads to all of it. So Brian says, just don't tell anyone after you've started doing it. So true, because no matter where you go, it is amazing. I can be at a bowling alley, at a kid's birthday party, at the beach, at a baseball game. And if I say that I'm a reader, someone in that group, no matter how big the group is going to be like, oh, I have a screenplay, or my friend has a screenplay, or do you think I get calls, my uncle's brother's cousin, like I get all these calls of people that have screenplays. So when you tell someone you do it, brace yourself. People will want you to read their screenplay for sure. Yeah, it's definitely, coming from someone with imposter syndrome. I'm with you, Mark. We all have it. I actually just not too long ago, I went to this amazing kind of 4-day event that was with just these massive business owners. It was really, really cool. And so it was all these people that had all kinds of businesses, and it was like the founders of big companies. And we were all there, and I didn't know a soul. I came in the first day. It was like, and I actually met someone that first night who's now like, I think this is going to be one of my friends forever. Like, it was such an amazing experience. And the very first talk they did at this event was about imposter syndrome. Here, these people had these big businesses, very successful people. And it was like, wow, it was so cool that they thought, okay, just because we're all here and we all know kind of what we're doing and whatever we think we try, doesn't mean that we're not going to have imposter syndrome. Like I said, I don't know anybody that doesn't suffer from it. At least at some point. I'm the most curious person you will have ever met. Love it. So good. Yeah. Yeah, so good. So definitely check out. We have more trainings, but I wanted to at least speak for a few minutes on the idea that if you want to do it, you can do it. And to go through these steps so that you have the skills and the capabilities to, handle whatever you want to do in this world, and to look for the people that are doing it, to follow the people, to watch more of our free trainings. We have a ton of free trainings. We also have a free masterclass. Let me put hold on one sec. I have a banner. So if you want to we have a free masterclass. Some of you may have taken it already that have followed us. And that like walks you through what is a reader in great detail. I did explain a little bit today where we basically read screenplays. We write the analysis. We give that analysis either to the writer so they can develop their screenplay, or to a producer so they can decide if they want to do that project. And you can do it for other people too, like casting directors, anyone that's trying to decide what kind of projects that they want to do, and they have a lot of offers coming to them, and they don't really want to like look at all the screenplays, you can be the reader that helps them decide what project that they want to do, whether it's costumers or whatever, editors, like anyone that works in the film industry, you can read screenplays for them. So it kind of depends on what your interests are, right? So you can kind of decide what kind of reader you want to be. Yeah, can you kind of figure it out? So hey, Guy, nice to see you back. Haven't seen you for a while. So yeah, so I'm catching up to turn. So good to see you. So really lovely to have you guys here. I don't want to spend too much of your time, but I just wanted to come in, give you a little boost in the arm to say, go do it. Just go do it. And there's no reason for you to have imposter syndrome. There is a way. There's always a path. And it's just about staying curious, open yourself up. You've got people right here that are watching this. You have people on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, see those videos so that you can get even more trainings. Meet people in the Facebook group, say hello, tell us who you are, tell us what your story is. We'd love to have you. And I just love doing these trainings. Keep an eye out. We will definitely have more trainings coming down the pike. Let us know if you have any questions. You can always email us at team@hollywoodgatekeepers.com. Happy to answer your questions. And I hope this was helpful for you. Go out, make it happen, and we will see you in the next training. Thanks, you guys.